Advances far outstrip declines as heavyweights inch up and mid-cap rally. Strong gains in US overnight on easing inflation aid the move. Realty and utilities gain while FMCG and consumer durables drag. HDFC Life jumps after it beats margin estimates and holds on to its growth guidance. Analysts bet on its margins bottoming out, though they remain wary of possible regulatory headwinds. Hindenburg Research is set to disband and wind up after running through its pipeline of ideas, says its founder, Nate Anderson, who is looking forward to focusing on other aspects of his life. This news triggers a relief rally in Adani Group stocks. 5 years after it stopped daily repos, the RBI has restarted it to infuse liquidity into the market. The return of this much-needed liquidity crunch, along with lower than expected US CPI, has pushed down the 10-year bond yields by 5 basis points and revived hopes on a February rate cut. The rupee, however, remains under pressure despite a fall in the dollar index. Israel and Hamas reach a ceasefire agreement to pause the war in Gaza after 15 months of fighting. The deal will come into effect from Sunday, with the first batch of 33 hostages set to be released by Hamas in exchange for Palestinians held in the Israel jail. US President Joe Biden, in a farewell address, says both administrations and the incoming Trump administration are responsible for brokering the deal. Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18 and I'm Vinny Motiwala. A quick look at the markets today. We're seeing a bit of a green that's come in on the screen today, and what we're seeing for the Nifty, 23,320 level. So about the 23,300 mark is what the Nifty's managed to sustain most part of the day today. Where it started, that's what's managing to hold on to. What's supporting it today is HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Reliance, Bharat Airtel. Do not forget, yesterday these private banks were a bit subdued and were on the drag side, but today a different story is coming in for the private banks. What's not doing well? We have the IT names, so TCS and HCL Tech, that's down and out, as well as ITC and HUL from the FMCG side. Nifty Bank is managing to hold on to good gains of 1.3%, more than that, and it's trading at the day's highest point is the Nifty Bank. Mid and small cap, that's also managing to hold on to good gains, more than 1% of gains, again outperforming the benchmark indices, the Nifty Midcap as well as the Nifty Small Cap. Let's talk about sectors which are not doing well. So, you did see those names like HUL, ITC coming in on the top tracks for the Nifty 50. So, Nifty FMCG is one of the sectors which is trading in the red. Other than that, we have Nifty Pharma that is also trading in the red. It's down almost 0.5% in trade, while also we have Nifty IT that's subdued. So Nifty IT also is down 0.3% in trade. Other than that, PSU banks, realty, metals managing to hold on to good gains. But yes, that's how the market setup is looking like this afternoon. Benchmark indices managing to hold on to the gains that I've seen since the start of the day. But the important talking point today is that the Reserve Bank yesterday announced that it will conduct variable rate repos every working day, thus signifying a major change in the availability of liquidity in the market. Now, this announcement, along with the cooler than expected US core CPI, has pushed down the bond yields. Lata is joining in with us to explain us all of this and what it means. Lata, good afternoon.
Well, the Reserve Bank has restarted daily repo. What is repo? Repo is a means by which the central bank of any country gives money to the banking system when it needs. So this had gone away into a 14-day repo. Some time back, 2020 was when it got written into the RBI rules that they won't do daily repos at all. They will do 14-day repos. Now, often what the Reserve Bank actually is trying to tell the banking system is that you make an assessment of what will be the deficit for you over 14 days and take that money from us. We will provide the liquidity. It was trying to tell the market, I will not be your treasury manager, you have to manage your own liquidity. But it often wouldn't work. The Reserve Bank was giving 5-day liquidity, 3-day repos, 4-day repos, especially when liquidity was tight. But with the re-emergence of the daily repo, that is really status quo ante, it clearly indicates a regime shift. We are going back to a position where the Reserve Bank is ready to stand by on a daily basis and give not unlimited liquidity as they used to, but give 50,000 crores. So that really counts as a change of mindset, and probably when it coincides with the governor and the most important deputy governor changing, it looks like a regime shift. It could be interpreted as one. Besides, of course, the easy liquidity is only 50,000 crores. The market deficit is more than 50,000 crores. It's often a lakh crore and even more. But this is definitely some kind of a relief. The Reserve Bank is also doing something called swaps. They did it twice in the last 7 days. They sell dollars in the spot market so that the rupee doesn't depreciate too much, and then they do a buy-sell so that the liquidity is provided back to the market and the liquidity withdrawal is postponed. Basically, the swaps are a liquidity infusing instrument. Given both these, the market is of the view that the Reserve Bank is on the side of providing more liquidity, and therefore possibly a rate cut in February can be expected. If the liquidity is very tight, a bank cannot pass on a rate cut. They will still want to keep deposit rates high so that they can continue to gather liquidity through deposits. Now, if the liquidity eases, then when the rate cut comes, it will get passed on. So all told, the markets are in a cheerful mood. Add to it the US CPI core CPI coming in lower than expected. There is a good 5-6 basis point fall in bond yields. And if you compare it to the high of the week, then it's a 10 basis point fall in the yields. So bond markets in a cheerful spot.
Absolutely, Lata. Thank you so much for giving us the explanation on this front. But let's move on and let's focus on some stocks which are on the move today. We have HDFC Life that's surging in trade after a strong set of third quarter numbers was reported by the company. Yash is joining in with us to give us more details on this one. Yash, good afternoon. HDFC Life holding on to gains of 8% as of now.
Well, certainly a strong quarter for HDFC Life Insurance as far as the third quarter is concerned, and what that is doing is, making investors believe that other listed life insurance companies as well could have a strong Q3 as far as financial performance is concerned. To be specific about the numbers for HDFC Life Insurance, except for new business premium, which saw a slight miss in terms of street estimates, all other parameters, total APE, retail APE, value of new business as well as margins were much ahead of street estimates in terms of specific numbers. For new business premium, despite that slight miss, it grew at about 11% to come in at about 7,900 crore rupees. Total APE grew at 12% at about 3569 crore rupees. Retail AP again saw a growth of about 12%. Value of new business grew at about 9%. The number there was about 930 crore rupees. In terms of margins, the street was estimating a higher compression to come in as far as margins are concerned, but the company could restrict it to a much lower number. The margin saw a compression of about 74 basis points to come in at about 20.06% versus 26.8% on a year-on-year basis. The management has maintained its guidance for the year in terms of 18 to 20% of APE growth and more than 15% of VNB growth. What also helped the stock price today is valuations. The stock had corrected significantly in the last 3 months as well as in the last 1 month. HDFC Life was down about 19% in the last 3 months and about 8% in the last 1 month. Also, what is helping the stock price today? In terms of brokerage notes, HSBC and Jefferies both have a buy call on the stock with a target price of 750 rupees per share. CLSA has an outperform call on HDFC Life. They've trimmed their target price to about 690 rupees per share.
Okay, Ash, thank you so much for that. And let's move on. Another stock, that is L&T Tech, that is also surging in trade on the back of its third quarter results. We spoke to Amit Chadha, who is the Managing Director and CEO at NASSCOM Executive Council member, regarding the company's Q3 performance. Listen to what he had to say.
Our pipeline is better than what it was the same time last year as well as last quarter. If you look at the number of deals we've closed, this is the highest number of deal wins that we've had in the recent past. As I see today, the demand environment is definitely better today as opposed to the same time last year. I see the pipeline to be a lot bigger than what it was same time last year, or 16.2 that we've got. And I do see quarter 4 EBIT coming in at similar levels. In fact, the Q2 operational EBIT of 16.2 is after 100 bips spent on increments in the current quarter for the employee base. Medium term, we are reiterating our aspiration to get to $2 billion and 17 to 18% EBIT levels.
Let's move on. And Yuko Bank gets an approval to raise funds via QIP, confirming CNBC-TV18's newsbreak. Now, speaking to CNBC-TV18, the bank's MD and CEO Ashwini Kumar, who says that the process for raising 2,000 crore rupees is underway. Listen in.
Yes, we have got the approval from Government of India to go ahead with the QIP plan of raising 2,000 crore. Our plan is to go in the one tranche after this quarterly audited results. Then we will go to the market and we'll have a roadshow and discussion. Preliminarily, we have started discussion with some of the investors, and hopefully after the quarter end, we'll come out with the QIP. With this, we'll have around 3% reduction in the government stake. Currently, government stake is 95% in our bank. And with this 3% stake will come down 92%.
Okay, on that note, we're going to step into a very short break. When we return, Bollywood actor Saif Ali Khan has been stabbed during an attempted burglary. We get you the latest update on this one on the other side.
Story that you would like to tell?
No, right now my laser focus is on my next film and preparing for it. And the new story I want to tell is Irish cricket, Scottish cricket, and cricket from the Netherlands. It's exciting me. It's something new, you know. It's like this new toy I've got my hands on. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to start working on it. I've never been the kind of person who's very good at just going and waving my hand. You know, I'm somebody who likes to get down on all fours and get dirty and really work.
Be in the trenches.
Oh, I love that.
Thanks for staying tuned into Mr. Sanj on CNBC TV18. Now, in some shocking developments from Mumbai, Bollywood actor Saif Ali Khan has been stabbed during an attempted burglary at his home. The actor is currently being operated upon at the Leelavati Hospital. We have Santhya joining in with us to give us more details on this one. Santhya?
The attack happened at around 2 this morning when Saif Ali Khan, his wife Kareena Kapoor and both the children were present in the house. So according to the prima facie investigation of Mumbai Police, Vinny, this is what happened at around 2 this morning. The house help, who's actually the caretaker of the children, Mrs. Aliama Phillips, who's also known as Lima, she went to the younger son's Jay's bedroom and she found this person, this accused, this intruder, hiding in the bedroom. She cried out for help, and in the meantime, when Saif could come to protect her, the children and the rest of the members, the attacker had attacked the house help, the caretaker, and when Saif entered the bedroom, he and the accused, according to Mumbai Police, got in a scuffle, and the accused was carrying a sharp knife-like object, and he stabbed Saif Ali Khan 6 times. Out of these 6 cuts, 2 were deep and 1 was pretty close to the spine. He was rushed to the Leelavati Hospital. Just now, Leelavati Hospital staff spoke to the media and they have confirmed that the surgery is complete and Saif is now stable and he is out of danger. In the meantime, right now, we are standing outside Bandra Police Station and the investigation is going on. Mumbai Police is yet to arrest the accused here. At present, they think that there was only one person involved. They are checking the CCTV footage. Crime branch is also unofficially investigating the case. 10 teams have been formed and they have been sent to multiple locations in Mumbai. Mumbai Police is confident that they will be able to nab the accused in in few hours. But the question is, how exactly did he manage to enter a high-profile? The building was in a plush area. We are talking about Pali Hill, Pali Road, Bandra. That's the area we are talking about, Vinny. How did he manage to enter the building? What about the security? And what exactly was the motive? Why did he attack the actor and his? Why was he planning to attack the family members? How did he manage to go
Right.
inside, and who is behind this? All these questions
Sure.
are yet to be answered by Mumbai police.
Absolutely important questions yet to be answered. Thank you so much for the latest update coming in here, Santhya. And we'll keep you all more updated with this news flow as well. But in some more national news updates that we have, now ISRO has successfully executed the SpaceX experiment which involved docking 2 satellites in the space. India is now only the 4th country after the USA, Russia as well as China to complete this historic feat. The 2 satellites were launched on December 30th, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi also tweeted his congratulations to the team, calling it a significant stepping stone for India's ambitious space mission. On that note, we're going to step into a very short break. But up next, we'll get to the latest updates that's coming in from West Asia as Israel and Hamas reach a ceasefire deal. Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned into Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. Let's move on. And after 15 months of fighting and tens of thousands of people being killed, Israel and Hamas have finally agreed to ceasefire and hostage deal. The agreement is set to take place on Sunday. Now, NBC's Richard Engel is joining in with us to give us more updates on this one.
In Gaza, the reaction was immediate and joyful. Relief that the war is coming to an end. Crowds gathered in Israel too, but with mixed emotions. The hostages are due to come home, but in some cases, only their remains.
After more than 400 days of struggle, a day of success has arrived.
The deal was negotiated by Qatar, Egypt, and the United States. President Biden saying it was built on a framework he proposed last May, and conditions finally made it possible.
After more than 15 months of war, Hamas's senior leaders are dead. With nowhere to turn, Hamas finally agreed to releasing hostages.
The State Department said the involvement of President-elect Trump's envoy in the talks was also critical. Trump posting the epic ceasefire agreement only happened because of his election victory. President Biden was asked who deserved credit.
Who does the history books credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke?
The deal is fragile and complex, to be implemented in 3 phases. Phase 1 will last 6 weeks. Hamas will release some hostages in return for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. And Israel will withdraw troops from populated areas in Gaza. But a permanent end to the war and the release of all the hostages still needs to be negotiated. In Israel, little celebration in Tel Aviv Square, where families of hostages usually gather. NBC's Danielle Hamamjan is there.
There are only a few people gathered here at Hostage Square. One family member telling me they want to see all the hostages back before they can celebrate.
And in his farewell address, just hours after the deal was announced, US President Joe Biden made clear that the deal was possible, he says, due to the work of his administration. Listen in.
After 8 months of nonstop negotiation, my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas, the elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be, working together as Americans.
Also, during his farewell speech, President Joe Biden also warned about of a tech industrial complex that has been bringing an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation and could pose dangers for the country.
We see the same dangers of the concentration of technology, power, and wealth. You know, his farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about, and I quote, the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power, end of quote. 6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech-industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well.
And moving on, the short seller Hindenburg Research has decided to end its operations. In a note published on its official website, founder Nate Anderson said that he is winding up the company as they have finished the pipeline of ideas they were working on. Now, the short seller began its operations in 2017 and quickly gained prominence for exposing poorly managed firms. From car maker Nikola to ICANN, the company targeted most and some of the biggest corporate names. Its biggest target so far has been the Adani Group, which it claimed indulged in stock manipulation and corporate fraud. And with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18, leaving the markets with gains of almost 0.5% on the benchmark indices. Up next, you have Midcap Radar to take you through the market action, so don't go anywhere.
It's been over 2 decades of tracking the global power shifts at the World Economic Forum. Starting from our first story reported 20 years ago to last year's groundbreaking coverage of the world's most important economic event. From discovering era-defining ideas to connecting you with the world's visionary thinkers and doers. From decoding blueprints for growth to driving collaboration to make a better future. We've been bringing you a wealth of information through 20 seasons. Tune in to Davos Diaries at Davos 2025, live and exclusive on India's most trusted business news platform, CNBC-TV18.